they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk, say, make we no talk. But thank God, say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun diary politico. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This man not the off in mind. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Aha. Now you wanna don't hear. Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti de.
Hello there.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Good morning to you.
Lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Thank you for joining me. As you are joining, we've got a limited platform to share on tonight. I am just on Mayegun's Diary Politico on Facebook, and that is also going to be temporary because I'm going to get kicked out of there soon. But I'm also on the Mayegun's Diary Politico on YouTube. You can join me there if anything happens to the Facebook at any point in time. But now that you are here, please share the broadcast.
Ani esuraki. Mayegun ti dé.
Tell them.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú esuraki.
Thank you.
Ani esuraki. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Ani esuraki. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Ani esuraki.
Thank you.
Oh, Baba Bewure.
I got this from Prince Jejeman in London. He said he wants me to shake it for every new or first-time caller on Mayegun's Diary Politico. Then I got some branded shirts as well, which I'm going to begin to wear them, so to say. So, yeah, for those who saw the pictures, the photos of of myself and other people in London. So Prince Jejeman quickly shared something with me, a glimpse, just like a clip into what the musical video is going to look like, something like this.
In the morning, aruga, ruga. In the evening, waterways. Grazing route is a terrorist agenda. We are going.
Here is another one.
We are going home. Biafra is going home. Ayalabago. Oduduwa is going home. Chancha, we dey do. We are going home.
Prince Jejeman. So he promised that when the musical video is ready, it's going to be so colorful, beautiful people coming together to express themselves, what they will wish to have including a mock referendum that we conducted at the location as well. So a lot to look forward to. It's a message. And I want to implore us all to all grab it, view it, share it. It is so powerful. And I can't wait to see that. The fever of election is catching majority as we speak. And the righteous are there being tempted, blackmailed, or even forced to take all those false narratives about Nigeria. Election is here. And if you if you are sounding different, for example, if you are one of those who are sounding it that it is a waste of time, understanding the structural defects of the process, which we always produce the same thing, and we always continue to produce the same criminals, which will continue to give you the same results. So people like us who say it's a pure waste of time, we are going to be an easy target for those who have captured the fever and those who are going to capture it. They're going to make it look like this never happened before, where people came together to say, oh, we need to save Nigeria. Yes, if we don't do something now, Nigeria is going to break up, blah, 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 when election is coming. But when everybody get their share of the deceit, they abandon you to your fate, make your situation worse until the next election. So people like us are not really popular because our messages are not so kind of generally acceptable to those who are already in the election fever that will give them the same thing, just like they were 7 years ago. So they are about to, and your traditional rulers, your pastors, your imam, your everybody, many of them who have already condemned the system, not just condemned the government, but condemned the system, haven't figured it out that the problem is not just about the criminals that take over the political posts. It is the system that pop them up all the time, that will continue to protect them and will never, ever punish them against, for the crimes they have committed against you. So the fever is around, and my own mission and job is to use the little resources that I have to keep you, the righteous, those of you who have seen the light for the past 3 years. Many of you have seen it for the past 10 years, and you have been steadfast. You have told yourselves 10 years ago, except something is done, this Nigeria is done for. Many of you, or let me say many of us, by the way, many of us have already detached ourselves psychologically, mentally from Nigeria. But because we have this, our own family too, we have our own loved ones there too, they always drag us back into it. But psychologically, many of us have decided that we have nothing to do with Nigeria anymore. And I'm speaking the mind of millions of you like that, scattered all over the world. But now, many also are beginning to realize that no matter how long you spend abroad, one day, you would eventually want to return back to your home, which Nigeria continue to destroy by their policies and their system of division. So when people began to see that listen, even if I live in America for 40 years, I'm going to get hold to some point that I want the sunshine for the rest of my life, no matter how much you stay away. So now people are beginning to realize that, see, there is actually nowhere to return to. If things continue as they are, there will be nowhere to return to. In fact, you can kiss everything that you have in your childhood memory and everything. You can kiss them goodbye. So this prompted people to begin to say, something needs to be done. We must do something. That is the reason why the movement, the message, the advocacy for self-determination, for Biafra, for Yoruba nation, for Kwara Rafa, for everyone who believes that this current Nigeria is faulty, and except something is done, the end result is going to be calamity, like calamitous. So 10 years, 5 years, many of you have known this truth. And you have been living that truth. Until this moment, when you realize that you have not been the only one who have been living that truth. That this Nigeria is done for. It took many of us years to realize this. So many people who are now asking that Nigeria should break up. Nigeria should break up today. Most especially those who are currently living abroad, the diasporans. We give everything to Nigeria. We gave everything, and we continue to give. From time immemorial, we have been, the Nigerians in diaspora have been the ones who have been subsidizing Nigeria economy, even when your politicians are looting everything they can lay their hands on, sell off whatever they can sell off, and carry, and then what? And they ferry the money out of your country. Many of us have now turned to the subsidy providers, to our immediate families, to our friends, to our, our neighbors, including our communities. Now, as they destroy the country further and further, the remittances from the diasporans continue to increase and increase, because the poverty continues to increase. So is the demand from Nigerians who are back in Nigeria, who are the direct victims of the disjointed, ruined, corrupted Nigeria. So we, diasporans, we have been shielding Nigeria for decades. Remittances, billions of dollars remittances, billions of dollars of remittances every month, every year. And that is those who actually pass through their system. Now it has gotten to a stage whereby going back to that Nigeria now is becoming a big issue. You know your security is not guaranteed. No one needs to tell you anymore. Even if they tell you that they are exaggerating, they are over-reporting it. No, people don't listen to them. It is not that bad. Now, despite all your investment, despite all your return, every month, every week, people make money, transfer money back to Nigeria every week. They want to pay school fees. They want to pay house rent. They want to pay hospital bill. They want to pay police bail. And yet, we have now been sucked into the problems created by the rogue politicians in Nigeria. If you want to go to Nigeria now, you have to think of places you will need to visit. You need to be careful of your movements. And at the same time, this is not just about the terrorists who can kidnap you. No. Even their policemen can cock their gun, right? And threaten you. You can face a situation of a life and death situation in a twinkle in the hand of their security. Now it keeps getting worse and worse as the situation keeps getting worse. So the people continue to become meaner and meaner and meaner. Now you continue to believe and love Nigeria from abroad. Now that threat has gotten to us too. And listen, the threat to our freedom, our safety in Nigeria is not only coming from the insecurity, it is also coming from the criminals in politics, criminals in power, who have now profiled many of us. They considered as a loud mouth, big mouth. They are sitting abroad. If you see them, arrest them for exposing what is going on. Now, that is for us in abroad. So which means the threat being faced by those back home is being faced by us here. Many people who actually complain. I barely sleep. Every time my phone rings like this and I see Nigeria number, I always have a kind of a panic attack because it's always going to be something to do with money, emergency, something serious, something that will make you. People say that to me. As Nigeria continue to get worse and worse and worse, so is the comfort of the people who live outside Nigeria continue to become more hyper too. So all of this then made it easier to table the option of, look at all the options that they have in Nigeria. Which of them do you think you will work with based on the present facts and figure? And there is no boju. And that is why the message and advocacy for the process of breaking up of Nigeria to free the regions and free the people, the nation that were forcefully fused together, and let them undo their own perennial problems on their own and stop this shared misery. That is why the message became popular. When you realize that everything you work for abroad, that you, when you were living, your mind and everything was that I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get to the top of my career. Then I'm going to build myself some lovely mansion in Nigeria. Oh, I'm going in my home country, which is going to be Ijebu. And then I'm going to relocate back at some point, start some business, give back to the community, and the rest of that. As the poverty continues to increase, poverty caused by politicians, and their policies are not hidden. These are not something that are happening like coincidence. They are there. You know what their policies and the effect of their policies on you. As the people continue to fall into poverty, so is the level of crime. So you that is living abroad, you have now started thinking that, okay, which of this danger should I consider palatable for me so that I can move my family back? We can go back and tour the entire Yoruba land, go to Iko, go see, travel everywhere, because Yoruba land is now safe. Now, if they are telling you that it's safe, you know better now, don't you? So that is why it's easier to now say, why don't you begin the process of making those who never thought their actions have consequences, and the consequences of their actions or inactions are so monumental that it is now becoming unsafe to even say you live in Nigeria. It has to be like one of the seventh wonders of the world to say, how did you survive? Or how are you surviving? It is coming to that stage now. And those of you in diaspora, every day you continue to add another year to when you are going to relocate back home. Maybe you don't plan that. Some of you have been planning to return back to Nigeria for the past 7 years or the past 8 years. When APC, Egbekegbe, came in, some of you felt like it was time. In fact, some of you actually returned. It didn't take you 2 years before you ran back to where you came from. You realized that you have lied to yourself for so long that you believed in your own lies about Nigeria. So you ran back to where you came from. Now, many of you have been postponing your return to Nigeria, the ones you have had for decades. Remember, you've made money. You are rich. All this idea of starting a bigger farm, so that you can cut down the what do you call it? The food price and hunger. Now you are still where you are 5 years after. Some of you have been changing that, thinking. Now this is another election fever, election season. Some of you are going to begin to say, maybe when Buhari is gone, maybe Nigeria is going to be better. You are deceiving yourself. You are going to get used to another style of sufferings. And guess what? You will then come back to people like us again, telling you that the solution is here. There is a reason why your politicians are running away from it. This particular one, will not only free the shippies, it will also take away the wealth they have stolen from you and redistribute them according to the owners. Because the real wealth they stole from you is not the cash, billions they are stealing. No. Your resources that could make you rich as a people, live a better life. They have shared them, they owned them. And so far they own them, they own your wealth. So the moment Nigeria break up, there will be an automatic wealth redistribution, which means those who are holding on to it now, they will never let it go, because what they are holding on to is not because Nigeria is so rich and viable. No. It is because it is like a conquered territory, right? So once it is your turn, just take your rent, like rent seekers. Take your rent, and pass it on. It is never for you. It's never for me. So it's easier. And all the dramas are out there that people like us who feel like some of you are going to want to try, because it is your right. Listen. It is your right to say you want to vote. The reason why people like us don't support their election is because the process is so faulty that some of you are ignoring the defects in it. And you want to use vibes and inshallah to go and conduct and participate in a fraudulent election that is already rigged before it even starts. They did something. Let me give you these few examples. Why people like us feel like elections, as they say, is a pure waste of your time. It is your right, too. Okay? It's your right. That is why somebody like me, I won't come here and say, there will be no election. No. But Ilanomo will do as a group. They have done something. They took it into a legal way. They took it the legal way, challenging the fraudulent constitution that they have been using to conduct election, right? So that is legal, but it is your right. So if people like me tell you that their election is just the validation of the poverty they have structured for you to come and validate for them, and participating in it is just a pure waste of time, and why people like me continue to preach boycotts. I won't say no election, because saying no election means I'm saying you have, your right doesn't matter. I don't think like that. Sorry. If that probably is the way some people feel, but that's not how I feel. But I can tell you and give you reasons, reasonable reasons, facts, to help you understand what is boycotting an election, that participating is just validating something that will eventually what? Kill you. And if you don't die, you do the same thing again the other time. But you can boycott, whereby it starts from, that's also a legal way too. You can boycott so massively that they won't even meet their own set legal limits. What do you call it? The legal stage or mark to say their election is worthy of an election. So I would preach to boycott. Why? I'll tell you. Northern Nigeria is a place where nobody has a scientific data of the population of people living in Northern Nigeria. Therefore, there is no record of any proven scientific record of the registered voters in Northern Nigeria. But for political convenience, they have structured it in a way that the population of northern Nigeria is considered far, far bigger than southern Nigeria, even though the southern Nigeria is more populated, scientifically proven. So when you now want to conduct an election that is decided by number, you would expect some fair level of credibility, some level of credibility in those who are going to participate in that number. So we've seen videos, we have seen pictures, we have, hundreds, if not thousands of videos from northern Nigeria where children as young as 7 years old are queued up to cast votes in northern Nigeria. Many, many of you from southern Nigeria, when you are doing your NYSC, doing your this National Youth Service, Abi, in northern Nigeria, you witnessed all of these abnormalities in your own election. You witnessed these abnormalities, but you dare not report it. That is the process that produces representatives in Nigeria. This is a factor. And they are not ashamed of it. No, they are not. It is only in northern Nigeria where the terrorists, Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists, and so many other terrorists that have occupied the place for over 12 years, it is the only region whereby when it comes to an election day, even internally displaced people, they will have an address to get their voters card. Now, this is not me saying they should be discriminated against, but these are also part and parcel of what conjured the figure that eventually decides who becomes what in Nigeria every 4 years. So they did something. They introduced biometric voting, which means they have to take your biometric signature, your fingers, when you are registering to vote, which means at that point they will know if you are underage or you are not who you claim to be on the day of election. So that when you come around to vote, so you place your hand, your thumb, you place it on that biometric machine and your information will come on. It will come up. But guess what? In Nigeria electoral system, they also have something called electronic transfer of results. That is to say, if you cast your vote here now for this party, it automatically goes to that political party and they tally it to other votes. And everybody can see that vote anywhere all over the world. So they now said they built a server to receive all these data and store them. Ladies and gentlemen, when the day of election came, biometric fingerprint, 90% of the machines failed to work. Therefore, manual voting have to continue. Soldiers, police, NSDC, and all these other security agents, you'll be seeing them standing by the polling unit, and you see children lined up. A lot of stuff, yeah? And in southern Nigeria, where people feels like getting their PVC is all they need, they actually work so hard because they always believe that all this grammar, speak grammar. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, we need to blah, blah, blah. Well, I say, okay, go and do it. It will be when they start, when they are sitting back and waiting for election results. That is when the 3 Kardashians they will start coming. Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, 3 million votes, no void. Kano, 3 million votes, no void. Kaduna, 2.8 million votes, no void. Everything goes to this party. Just like that. They will say, Kaduna alone don't cancel three states. All of the three states in Eastern Nigeria. Yet you all know that the process is so fraudulent. Then since you have participated, what will you do? You complain. Yeah, go to court now. So when you go to court, because it is the system, the court will then say, yeah, go to appeal. When you leave appeal, you go to high court, Abi. When you leave high court, where you go again, you go to appeal again, Abi, or you go to Supreme Court. Then you will meet the tanko technicality of this world. And they will tell you for technicality purpose, for technical reason, they cannot cancel the election. In fact, let him finish. We'll consider this next election. So last, you will say, they don't cheat me. You won't go protest. That is when they bring out the Buratai the butcher and every other murderers wearing uniforms in Nigeria. And then they will say, what do you mean? Why did you participate in the election then? Do you get the drip? Do you get the whole thing? Yeah, that's the trip. But you can boycott it massively. What do you have to lose? But again, it is your right. Okay? I am not going to be one of those that are going to say, if they burn you well, come out and vote. Why should I do that? When I want to freely exercise my own right to self-determination, right to walk about and campaign that Yorubas deserve better without being shot, without being arrested or kidnapped. You get what I mean? Without being killed. So definitely, I'm not going to be one of those that will say, no election, no election. If you try, we'll kill. If them burn you, will come out tomorrow. No, I won't do that. That's barbaric. That's pretty much like a thuggish. I am not like that. Oh, remember, this is me. Oh, you may have your own way about it. Oh, which is completely yours. Oh, but to me, you may want to try it. But the one question you should ask yourself is this. Yeah? One question you should ask yourself is this. If elections have always been the solution, do you think your own parents, they wouldn't have resolved this problem long time ago? Don't you think that? Like, if every time they give people opportunity to choose their leader, their choice always counts, yeah? Do you think your own parents, our own parents, they won't have resolved this whole thing before they give birth to us? Like the Americans did. It wasn't so easy. America had to fight a civil war before they finally figured it out that, okay, you know what? We have to respect ourselves, Neo. Anybody will believe say anything, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. So they went for elections and elections and elections until they got it right. Abi, do you think if elections that these rogues have been putting together for decades, if elections have been the solution, do you think me and you, will be doing this thing we are doing right now? Our own parents, they wouldn't have made those choices back then. They had a chance. The first time they had a chance was when they were allowed to choose regionally. They chose people who represented them, who delivered, who served them. In Yoruba land, they elected people who served them. In Igbo land, in Eastern Nigeria then, yeah? They elected people who served them. In Northern Nigeria, Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello and co. In my own opinion, the Northern people, they elected the leaders that served them. The system allowed that then. And you saw the results. So if your parents have been very much allowed to choose, our parents are not so really dumb, oh. They are not stupid, oh. What happened was that many of them, they never believed that one day Nigeria will become what Nigeria has become now. They never dreamed it. Therefore, majority of them never had that zeal to push and push for real and break the chain way back. So they felt like, if this one not doing well, bring another one. Because they could, according to them, the economy is still manageable enough that they couldn't really feel it. They are old now. They are feeling like, I wish that when in the 1972, I wish Baba, you are old now. So if you are warming up to go and vote election, ask your parents if elections could solve it. Why are you now joining people to say NSAS, stop brutalizing, stop corruption, give us electricity, give us a road, give us the security, give us this? Why are you at your age? Democracy, this demonstration of craziness started in 1999, but Nigeria did not start in 1999. But 1999, if you are watching me right now and you are just about 23 years old, my dear sister, baby me, your parents, they killed to vote in 1999. Some of them, now because of waiting they expected, Nigeria will become when the military is gone, when the military are gone. Now the joy, they take do that nice sleep way eventually produce you. I'm not trying to say, because if you like saying joy, baby boomer, I've been con. 1999, end of military, democracy, government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now, so then give birth to many of you. If you are 23 years old, 23 years old, 22 years old, now democracy, joy, your parents decide to have you. Some of them, even when they told them that when your mama told your papa that John, it be like, I don't get pregnant, I don't get beleo. Say, don't worry, Nigeria is about to get better. I'm a graduate. I'm a mechanical engineering graduate. Baby, don't worry, let's get married. This is democracy. And all this military will be gone. You are 23 years old today. You are still joining us to do NSAS. Give us job. We are dying. What is all this? And the rest of it. If you don't want your own children, I am talking to you now, all of you who are in your 20s. I'm talking to you. They are telling you to go and get your PVC. Now, so then told your parents. In 1999, 23 years ago, they told them, this is democracy. We all need to come together. And then it will be job awarawa, fun awarawa, bobo. And so everybody feel like, say, oh boy, hey. They can't give birth to you. You enter Nigeria, Nigeria happened to you. You and I are now talking about what is the solution to waiting day now. 23 years old man, 23 years old woman. That is how it happens. That's how it works. You are 23 years old. Some of you don't get your own children. 23 years old, you already have about 2 kids. Some of you don't get one. Some of you don't expect one already. Some of you are doing your wedding. Tomorrow, Saturday. Abinobi so, 23 years old. They are telling you to go and get your PVC. Nobody is telling you what will be the future of your children. 23 years ago, that was what they told your parents. Nigeria is going to be better now. They did songs. Different musicians. They made different songs. Hope song, everything. United Nigeria, one Nigeria, people, all this nonsense. 23 years after that, you are here watching Mayegun's Diary Politico. We are talking about, shall you go do am again? So that in the next few years, your children, you will become mama. Yeah, your own mother, your own parents, if they are still alive, they will become grandma. That is it. And before you know it, like Yoruba will say, ọmọ tó ní bàbá wọn ò là, ọmọ tó ní màmá wọn ò lówó lọ́wọ́. Ẹnu ẹ̀ ló wà yẹn. This is how it happens. Your decisions, when you boycott an election, it is a referendum. But those who want to take their own turn, they will tell you, you are making a mistake. Tell them, shall no be mistake you make, your papa make. No be mistake your papa and mama make. In 1998, when they were dreaming of democracy, when they were happy celebrating democracy, in 1998, 1999, are they still celebrating? Then give birth to you. They call you a young millennium. A millennial. You remember that the whole thing lasted for just about 7-10 years. Then be millennial. Then be millennial. Indomie generation. Indomie generation. Indomie generation. Don't they pay house rents? Indomie generation. Don't they pay their own, they don't care for family. Indomie generation. No Indomie anymore. Indomie long. So if you don't know how this whole thing really works and they affect you and they suck you in and you continue to join them to hope, the fever is around now. You need to decide your future. You are the young people. Your future is in your hand. You need to elect. Criminals are telling you to elect good people and they are presenting themselves. We are the good people. And you, I prefer you they talk English, Abi. They blow grammar. People like us will continue to give reasons why the process is faulty. The end goal, which is the end result, is known. But when they do all these things with you, after the whole thing, after the party, not be everybody they go house. After the whole show of everything, blah, 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 what happened next? You carry your cross. Like this, one of your minister. You will carry your cross. And then you wait for another what? You wait for another, how many years? You wait for another 4 years. So that you can catch the FIFA again. And anything they say to you that time, my friend, what is the solution? We cannot just say we will not vote. I'm not saying don't. I'm giving you reasons why if you don't, you will be right and you will justify it. It is a referendum on its own. If the number of people they expected to come out and do can join and validate their fraud, even with their rigging and everything, if the number should fall, for example, in Yoruba land or in Biafra land, if numbers should fall by more than 70%, you see those one who are going to still get the scramble and the whatever of the leftover of those that will validate them, they will know they are running an illegitimate government to start with. And guess what? They will realize that people are just kind of buying their time. One day, this kind of referendum will be bigger than what they have witnessed during their own election. So it is a long one because it is like an ad, it is an ad sale. But I am not afraid to tell you why it is also a waste of time to encourage anybody to group together and say they want to do an election. Election where? Election where? Validation is what you want to do. So sometimes if you don't, I'm talking to you now, the millennials, the Indomie generation who are now anti. I know some of you, I don't have many 23 years old on my platform, by the way, sadly, yeah. The, what do you call it? The stats that I always get is that I have 29% of my viewers, my subscribers of Mayegun's Diary Political are between the ages of 24 and, are between the ages of 34 and 45. the next bigger demographic audience I've got is between the ages of 45 and 54 years old. Though. I want Balagbao. No wonder. I've got so many professionals on Mayegun's Diary Political who always kind of pay attention to detail. They're like, I pay attention. Mayegun said so and so the other day. That I want to say something about that. You know, people who are actually like intelligent, elderly enough, right? So I have them. They are the second biggest demographic audience I've got on Mayegun's Diary Political. But you see the people between the ages of 24 and 34, they are just about 19% of my audience. They are even like a fourth. You know, the third biggest demographic audience I have, they are between the ages of 54 and 64. Just like that. Elderly people, they here. That's why we call it the temple of truth. Where people, when they get to a certain age and they realize that the truth that they have known for all their lives, for once, somebody is just saying them. So that's one reason why I have a lot of you here. So thank you very much, my people. I appreciate you, every one of you. But I am addressing those who are just between these ages of 18 and 23. You were called the Indomie generation, the new millennials, the millennials. But Nigeria happened to you enough that today, you see people in that age bracket, they actually constitute between 18 and 20, 24, 25. You currently constitute more than 40% of the population of Nigeria, generally. That's a massive number that could decide who becomes who or who becomes what in Nigeria. But the system will never let you use that. So they're telling you to go and get your PVC. Some of you, you need to witness it. You need to find out before you realize that Mayegun that is telling you that don't waste your time. Don't get carried away. Nothing they are telling you right now, they didn't tell your parents. Nothing that you are reading today or they are promising today that they did not promise your uncles. Listen to me. Some of you, 4 years ago, you are just about 19 years old, remember? Which means you voted 4 years ago. Some of you who are just about 17, 16, 4 years ago, you are now going to be eligible to vote. So they are telling you things they told people your age 23 years ago. Oh, you need to take your destiny in your hand. You need to stand up for your future. You need to get your fellow youths, bring them together. You need to support good candidates that love you. How do you know candidate that loves you? I'll tell you. Though they may tell you to be pretending, but I'll show you. How to know a candidate that is very, very serious and possibly will deliver. Excuse me. So, first, you have to identify something like this.
It is Adugbo Ahmed Tinubu again. And this time, we are here to convey his message, to convey his humanitarian services, to convey his philanthropism to Kano people. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a household name, not only in Kano, not only in Nigeria, but world over. That is why his generalist Muslim brothers, he decided to bring this to our people, which will serve as a palliative, especially this time, the last 10 days of Ramadan. So for us, just put him in our prayers, pray to Allah.